Legislative History on Lexis and ProQuest Congressional Documents. In 1970, a company called CIS, Congressional Information Service, started collecting, indexing, and abstracting congressional hearings, reports, and committee prints. Unlike other legislative history materials available at that time, they didn't just capture the documents associated with enacted laws, they indexed and abstracted every hearing, report, or committee print, and made those documents available on demand so you could actually do legislative history research for documents associated with bills that were not enacted, no matter where you were. LexisNexis purchased CIS, but subsequently sold CIS to ProQuest, which provides the interface most used for CIS content today, but Lexis still provides access to CIS. To access these materials through ProQuest, be sure to come in through the Boston College Law Library A to Z database list to be authenticated as a BC user. You arrive at the Advanced Search page. Along the left side of the page, you can see the types of materials that ProQuest Congressional Documents provides access to. You might notice that different types of materials have different years of coverage. These represent the materials that we have access to through our subscription. Other libraries may provide access to more or less historical data. While you can apply limits after a search, if you choose your content type first, you can make better use of field searching. Use the pull-down menu at the top to select Search by Number. This provides you with a variety of ways to find documents by their citations or other types of reference numbers, including bill number, public law number, and statutes at large citation. When looking for legislative history materials for enacted legislation, I find it easiest to start with the public law number. Public Law 96510 is CERCLA. On the bottom left, you can see some of the document types this search retrieved, and we can filter by document type. Above that, you can see that we could also filter by date or Congress. Let's start with the overview provided by the single legislative history. We land on this reference page that has very little information. Clicking on this title, we link to the legislative history document, which is in the form of an abstract. Newer legislative histories hyperlink to many of the documents mentioned. Along the left is a little index to this legislative history that will let us jump to a particular part of this abstract. There are hyperlinks to the text of bills related to this law. There's also a summary of what this law does. There are references to proceedings on the floor of both chambers of Congress on this bill. The history does not include links to the text of the congressional record pages on which this bill was debated and voted on, but some do. This legislative history tracks not just the bill that was actually enacted, it gives us some history of related bills from the 96th Congress and one from the 95th. Report information includes bibliographic information, including a CIS number, which links to a CIS abstract of the report. Newer report abstracts can contain a link to the full text of the report, and older reports can be accessed on microfiche using the CIS number. The legislative history also contains references to all the hearings held on this legislation, often from multiple Congresses. The accession numbers link to CIS abstracts of the hearings. Hearing abstracts contain detailed information and links to PDFs of the full text of the hearing. The testimony section details the witnesses, the subjects they spoke on, and the pages of the hearing where the testimony can be found. Back in the legislative history, there is more bibliographic information on committee prints. Under the heading Miscellaneous Other Publications is bibliographic information on the presidential signing statement. What isn't obvious without a closer look is that while the original search results and the legislative history both contain many of the same documents, each contains some information not in the other. So a very thorough search of the legislative history would likely start with the CIS compiled legislative history, but continue with a search through the individual documents retrieved in our initial public law search. If you don't have a public law number, you can search by keyword, subject, or title, or the name or affiliation of a witness testifying before a committee. As was mentioned earlier, the CIS abstracts and index are also available in Lexis on the US CIS Index and CIS Historical Index databases. Here's how the CIS Legislative History of Public Law 96510 looks on Lexis. CIS numbers in this legislative history hot link to other CIS abstracts of reports, hearings, committee prints, and documents in Lexis. Lexis also has a number of compiled legislative history databases on major legislation. To find them, first click on Statutes and Legislation and explore content by content type. Here you'll find a legislative histories link. These are mostly CIS legislative histories. Click on the I to find out who compiled the legislative history, or click on the title to search the documents in the legislative history database.